Alright, so let's have a look at solving irrational equations, and now we have a look at two different types of equations, one with a straightforward xn number only with the square root, and the other one has got a p in it, so a little bit more complex. So let's have a look at the first one. X minus, so it's x minus 4 equals 3 root x. Okay, so I moved to a new page so that we can have enough space to work it out. So it's usually a good idea to have one of the roots on one side and one of the x's in the other, but it doesn't actually matter. So one of the things we could do now is square them. Square both sides, so you get x minus 4 squared equals 3 root of x squared. So you can use the perfect square method to square the left hand side, which is x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to, so 3 squared would be 9x. You can bring the 9x to the left hand side and form a quadratic, so you get x squared minus 8x minus 9x will be minus 17x plus 16 equals 0. You can just use your graphics calculator and get the solutions from now, a quadratic formula, or I think you can factorize this. 1 and 16, negative 1, negative 16, add up to negative 17. So x minus 16 into x minus 1, yeah, so minus, that's plus in here. So your x is 1 and 16. Right, now usually if this was just a quadratic there, then that's totally fine. But you have original equation is in the form with the square root. So for now, we can't have solutions. Oh, well, of course, we can't have real solutions if there's a square root and there's a negative in it. Let's actually substitute these values and see if it actually makes sense. Oops, sorry, I did something. Oh, all right, so having a look at this on another page, it's written such that we can actually square both sides at the moment and reduce the square root on the left hand side and see what we can get on the right hand side. So if you go x plus p square root square equals 2 plus root of x squared, both are perfect squares as you can see. The first one, square root and square, will cancel out, so you end up with x plus p. Looks pretty straightforward, and the square on this side would be 4 plus 2 to 4 root x plus x, root of x whole thing squared. You end up with x. So if we move the x from here onto the other side, we end up with p equals 4 plus 4 root x. The x minus x will disappear. If we take the 4 and move it to the left, you end up with p minus 4 equals 4 root x. If we square both sides now, you will see that the square root of x will disappear. So square both sides, you end up with p square minus 8p plus 16 equals 16x. Okay, so if you divide the whole thing by 16, then you end up with x. So x is equal to p squared minus 8p plus 16 over 16. So that is one way to write the solution. You could leave the p minus 4 in the square form, which is p minus 4 squared over 16 is equal to x, or x is equal to p minus 4 squared divided by 16, and that's a solution. So that's how you solve an irrational equation. So the important thing to remember is try and if you have one square root, then well, keep it on one side and square both sides. If you have two square roots, then you keep squaring them till you end up with a solution. If you have coefficients like p, q, a, b, or c, then try and keep them on the side, on one side, and the x on the other. Okay, great. Thank you for listening. I'll see you later.